I left school determined to be an engineer and got sufficient qualifications to get admission to what was then the Royal College of Science and Technology, predating Strathclyde. And coincidental with that, I was able to get a student apprenticeship with Hoover. So when I went on to my studies, engineering studies, I was extremely fortunate in being able to get a blend of, shall I say, real life manufacturing and business experience, whilst at the same time doing my formal engineering qualifications. And I was intensely focused as a student and concentrated almost exclusively on my studies. The drive for that was, shall we say, encouraged by dint of the fact that if I failed a year, my student apprenticeship came to an end. So having got used to the idea of a weekly pay packet, I made certain that I studied very hard. That my father had his own manufacturing company, small business making curling stones. And I grew up in that environment, and I thought everyone else grew up in that environment. But I reckon I could have got a master's in business administration by about the age of 11. I think at about the age of 18, my father said to me one day, "I've had an offer to sell the business. What's your reaction?" And I said, immediately, go for it, because the world is changing. The world is going to be employment in big companies. And I was already experiencing that in Hoover, for example, and the security of salary and career path and was quite incredible. And really, in many respects, that's how I should have run out the rest of my career. But then something was about to happen when I was maybe 45, 46. And that was I went to my employer in the States with an idea, which was a throwaway lens. And they told me to forget all about it and to do no more work on it and not to mention it to anyone else, because we made so much money from cleaning solutions. And some of my early life must have started to kick in, because I thought, I can do this, even if it means I have to leave this rather comfortable environment and start to do it on my own. The future was there for a few years for me. While I learned how to take the small business up against the big companies that I had so admired as being the future, and realized that it's a small, adaptable, well-kitted, well-informed business that will grow in. A lot of the things I had learned in my engineering time became extremely important. Many of the things I had learned from our family business became important. I had like a 20-year apprenticeship, because when I started to write my plans for what I intended the business to become, I wrote those plans through the eyes of a senior company executive. You say, maybe I was just lucky. Maybe I just hit the right time with the right people, with the right product, and was able to build a successful business. Maybe it was a fluke. And you know, that annoyed me. And it was part of the reason why I wanted to do it again. Because I thought, anyone can score a goal once, but can you go out there and repeat the exercise? There's increasing emphasis on the need for us to be an entrepreneurial society, and for entrepreneurial businesses to start and flourish, as distinct from when in the earlier days we might have concentrated on big companies as being the future. And it's greatly encouraging for me to see Strathclyde putting so much effort in to encourage such companies. That was not the way when I started, But the foundations that were laid in my studies at Strathclyde, in engineering and in business studies, were perfectly suited for what I subsequently did in deciding to start my own company.